Okay, let's get right into it. So, you're ready to take that next big step to go from being a pilot to teaching others how to fly? Well, you've come to the right place. We're going to treat this whole process not like some dry set of rules, but like your own personal mission briefing for earning that Assistant Flight Instructor rating right here in India.
Think of this as your personal action plan. We're breaking down all the official DGCA requirements into a simple, step-by-step checklist. You can literally start using this today to map out your journey from pilot to instructor. Let's build it together.
Okay, every great mission starts with a solid base. So let's begin with checkpoint 1, the foundations. These are the absolute must-haves, the things you need to have locked down before you can even think about moving forward. First up, the easiest check in the book. You have to be at least 18 years old on the day you submit your application. It's the very first gate you've got to pass through. Simple as that.
All right, next up is the big one. This is the bedrock of your entire mission. You have to hold a current commercial pilot's license. This isn't just a formality. It's the proof that you've got the professional skills to build on. Seriously, without a valid CPL, this mission is a no-go from the start.
All right, with those foundations secured, let's move on. Welcome to checkpoint 2, flight experience. This is where we're going to crack open your logbook and get into the specific hours you need to have under your belt.
So let's talk numbers. You're aiming for a total of 100 hours as pilot in command on an aeroplane. But, and this is important, look at that second bar. Currency is absolutely key. The DGCA needs to see that at least 20 of those hours were flown within the last 18 months before you apply. They want to know your skills are sharp right now, not just that you flew a lot a few years ago. Now, it's really crucial to understand that these are two separate requirements. First, you've got to log your own 100+ hours of pilot in command time. That's you in the left seat making the decisions. Second, and this is completely separate, you need to complete 20 hours of dedicated instructional flight training with an improved instructor following the official syllabus.
So, you've got the license, you've got the hours. What's next? Well, now we get to checkpoint 3, which is all about ground knowledge. If flying is the hardware, this is the software you need to actually teach someone else effectively.
And we're not just guessing what you need to know. As you can see, this comes straight from the regulations. There's a very specific syllabus for an oral or written exam that covers every single thing an instructor needs to know.
So what's actually on this test? Well, it goes way beyond just the basics of flight. You're going to be diving into the psychology of learning, the real elements of what makes an effective teacher, and maybe most importantly, how to analyze and correct a student's errors. You'll also get deep into human performance and threat and error management, but this time from a teacher's point of view.
All right, you've passed all the checkpoints, foundations, experience, and knowledge. Now it's time to put it all together. Welcome to the climax of your mission, the grand finale, the final check ride.
So, what is the skill test? It's your final exam. Simple as that. It's a practical, in-flight test with a DGCA-approved examiner. And you have one job. Prove you're competent to be an assistant flight instructor. You're not just flying the plane. You're teaching, explaining, and demonstrating, all from the right seat.
Okay, pay close attention to this timeline because you really don't want to mess this up. You have to pass your skill test within a 6-month window before you apply. That's right, you pass the test and then the clock starts ticking. You have 6 months from that pass date to get your application submitted. The order is critical.
And once you nail that check ride and your application is approved, boom, mission accomplished. You have officially secured the rating. So what can you actually do with it? Let's talk about your new privileges and how to keep this hard-earned rating active.
As an AFI, your role is really clearly defined. On the one hand, you can give flight instruction on planes with an all-up weight under 1,500 kilograms. But there are some pretty important limits. You can't authorize the students for solo flight. That's a big one. And you also can't give instruction for stuff like aerobatics or night flying.
And this quote from the regulations really sums it all up perfectly. Your job is to give instruction by day only. And, this is the most important part, under the authority and supervision of a flight instructor. So think of this AFI rating as the start of your teaching career, like an essential apprenticeship.
Your rating is valid for 12 months, and keeping it current is actually pretty straightforward. You've got two basic paths for renewal. Option 1, stay active and conduct at least 20 hours of flight instruction during the year. If for some reason you can't do that, option 2 is to complete an approved flight instructor's refresher course.
So there you have it, the entire mission broken down into a clear, actionable checklist. The path is laid out for you. The only question left to ask is, looking at this plan right now, what's your immediate next step?